Let me see. I'm trying to see the settings and see what's going on. Can't hear. Okay. I don't know, damn filter. Okay, you can hear me now? Yes. Okay, great. I gotta start over. Okay, so I do want to get to the point because I have churn to pick up. Okay, so one of the things, so there were a lot of things that stood out to me about her story. Now I'm also going to interject my opinion because this is my motherfucking channel. That shit shouldn't have been 50 fucking videos. Okay, I felt like a lot of people are like, oh, she's such a great storyteller. In my personal opinion, it was extremely long-winded and wordy. And this is somebody who is, I can be long-winded, but I'm like, what? But it did what it needed to do. You know, it's all good. You know, she did what she needed to do. She got it out. Okay, where do I begin? So initially, it's just so many problems with the story. There's so many problems with the story. Not that, and the issues are the behaviors that she tolerated, to be honest. And she does say in the video that she was desperate, right? She says that, right? But let's like dig into this. Like, thank you so much. Like, let's dig into this. Why did she feel desperate? She felt desperate to have a man, have a child, and like live this traditional life, right? She also talks about in the video, she talks about her faith and her being a Christian and her being from the South, I think she said, or living in the South and stuff like that. See, and this is, okay, y'all know I was raised Baptist, right? Y'all know I was raised Baptist. Like, this is the bullshit I be talking about. How are you wanting to live a life of faith and proclaim to live these certain ways, but you are having unprotected sex and living with men? Like, and she said it made her feel, you know, conflicted on the inside. And why not put him out your house? You know what I'm saying? So what it seemed like, you know, this is the first time she's ever had this type of attention that she got from him. This is the first time she's ever had that type of attention. Or, you know, maybe a dude tricking, a dude paying bills, a dude that's like so ready to jump in so quickly, which a lot of the times is love bombing. And from what it seems like, that's part of what it was. One of the first issues that when I first started watching the series, is she was like, he told her that he, it's funny to me now, but anyway, because I've dealt with a lot of this shit, and that's part of why I'm just like rolling my eyes at it a little bit. When he told her that his ex-wife cheated on him, what he was doing, please hear me, what he was doing in that moment, okay, because I've heard niggas say that every nigga that's ever said that to me was full of shit, okay, every single time. Or either it's she cheated on me or she's crazy. These are things, this is a psychological, this is a hypnosis technique. It's a term called anchoring. So now your first action, yeah, it's a trap, absolutely, but it's called anchoring. So when you think about him, you're like, oh, poor Rod. Rod got cheated on by his ex-wife, and Rod is such a good man. Rod changed my tires. Rod paid my light bill. Rod bought my kids some diapers. Rod is such a good man. That's he's trying to draw a parallel. He's trying to tell you, oh, women have treated me so bad, but look at how nice I am, right? That's how you get fucked up. That's how you get fucked up. You be like, oh, he's so nice. Those other women must have just been, it just must have been subpar. No, this nigga be playing games, okay? This nigga be playing games. Okay, secondly, another thing that I want to say. When we talk about her mother and her aunt, as she talked, the brief bit that she talked about them in the video, she said her mother was relieved that she got married. When she called her aunt to tell her about the infidelity that she had discovered about her husband, her aunt was very unforgiving. She was just like, well, I mean, you married him, right? So everybody hooping and hollering for you to get married, don't have sex before you married, don't have no baby with no nigga until you married, then you go get married. Said nigga not only doesn't even pick you up from the hospital one time after a miscarriage, which I just think that's grounds for just like an instant deletion from like my life. Like, let me stop bleeding and you gotta motherfucking go. Like, I just don't even understand how that works. But anyways, why would nobody, since you calling these people for advice and you respect these people, but this happens to a lot of black women. I'm not saying this specifically about just her family. I see this type of shit all the time. Where is your family at when you went and got married? Why wasn't your family at the courthouse with you? Why wasn't your family asking to meet this nigga's family? It's not giving. And you know what it's giving? It's giving. You were groomed in a Christian environment and you were told get married before you have babies, but make sure you get married and you have babies. But I'm not gonna teach you how none of this shit work. I'm not gonna tell you about how niggas can be slimy, how there are men who will lie to you just to say that they have certain things and they don't even have. I've had niggas lie to me about what kind of car they drive. Okay, so that's another point that I want to make in this short analysis of this video. Is one, sis was beyond gullible because of Christian indoctrination. Okay, because getting married was the most important even though he didn't even properly propose to her, even though he got her married out of wedlock. Like, I know, like down south, like people who are really live this type of like southern lifestyle, you get pregnant, oh, y'all get married in like 40 days. That's about all y'all got for somebody daddy is beating your ass. You don't wait no 6 months, you know what I'm saying? And then keep up all these lies and BS. If her family were properly involved in her dating life as a traditional family should, this should be a norm across the board. This ain't got nothing to do with region. If her family cared about her, they should have been involved in her dating process and helping her vet. Black women's families don't do this. But black women's families will sit up and talk about you when your nigga cheat on you. They'll talk about you when you're going through a divorce. They'll talk about you when you have a baby out of wedlock. But they don't ever want to help you with the vetting process of, you know, proper thing. With women whose husbands have been pulled into a closet by their daddy, don't really be having the type of problems a lot of these women be having. So I remember when she did one of the TikToks was about his family background. And I was like, no, I want to know your family background. I want to know who raised you where you could tolerate a grown ass motherfucking man telling you that he is going to buy you a house and then not follow through with purchasing said house, and you're still there in his face. Because me and him would have had to go toe to toe, blow for blow, baby. It would have went down. You got to get the fuck up out of my house because you promised me a home. We wouldn't have even gotten to the cars. We wouldn't have even gotten to the, like, this probably would have took me 6 months max because you would have had to roll the fuck up out of my shit. Because you're not finna have me. And that's another thing. Women are always like, well, I don't want to sit there and look stupid. You are going to already look stupid because he's already doing stupid shit. So if you keep fucking with him and he keeps lying, there's just more embarrassment down the road. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, you didn't have a baby now, but then you might get pregnant in 3 months and you still, just cut the nigga off. God damn. Like, there were so many opportunities. I also saw a comment where a young lady was like, you know, the Bible teaches not to lean to your own understanding. And she was just like, had she not been so deeply indoctrinated by Christianity, she would have realized that was her higher self recording those audios. She would have realized that her intuition was trying to help her. But she just, because she made another really churchy comment and I wanted to come through the screen on her. She was like, when she found out that he was cheating on her, she was like, oh, I was relieved because finally I had a reason to divorce. What? You had a reason to divorce the first time he didn't fulfill his husbandly duties by providing you a home, which is what he promised you to do. What the fuck? Get out of here with that. Like, you was waiting on God to tell you it was time to go? Yeah, like God was already showing, like, girl, I can't. One of the most important points that I want to make in this live, because I do not have a lot of time, is that myself and most of my peers, and even people that are not my peers who have heard their stories, do not find this shocking. One, I do live in Atlanta, and I've lived in Atlanta multiple times. And some of my peers have also lived in Atlanta. Okay, so maybe it could be an Atlanta thing. A lot of people say dating in Atlanta is just like crazy. Right, exactly. They gave it a flat tire. Legion's behavior is not abnormal for niggas. I don't understand. Like, that's the other thing. I also want to dig into, or I have questions about her dating life. Because if you have lived in Atlanta, and I think if you have dealt with niggas, you will find this is not shocking. Okay, like I've never gotten on live and told my story. I'm not mad at her for telling her story. However, I did have a nigga lie about having a girlfriend and lie about having a sister and lie about going to a funeral. But the truth of the matter was there was a secret baby that somebody had, and the person who had the baby was the sister, but the sister wasn't really the sister. The sister was the girlfriend. Okay, and I had to find out in a real crazy way. And the girlfriend played along with the story. It acted like she was the sister to get the information out of me to try to figure out how long I had been dealing with her baby daddy, who she played like was her brother once she figured out what I knew. Like and I was just like, I had never dealt with no type of ghetto shit like that before in my life, okay? But I did that day, okay? I did that day. I only talked to him about 3 months, but I was very much like flabbergasted, and I was very much done with the situation because it was just real crazy. That's what I'm saying. Legion's behavior is par the course for dating in Atlanta. Niggas lie about having cars, homes, careers, saying that they're single. I've seen niggas do all type of shit. I've seen niggas rent luxury vehicles that they don't own and say that they own them and rent them on a regular basis so that they can stun at different clubs and stun in different venues. And they call in the car, man, hey, you got that car, right? Okay, yeah, because I got to go so-and-so. Because they got to keep up a front. Like, Atlanta is really all about keeping up a front. That's like the culture of the city. Okay. Everybody want to believe they are part of the black elite. Okay. And I mean, they call it Scam Atlanta now. So, I mean, in her defense, it was COVID. You know, a lot of us got caught slipping during COVID. A lot of us did. There was a fog of naivete over everybody's head. But what I will say, yeah, they'd be in another bitch car. That's true. They'd be in another girl's car. But what I will say is that one of the things that I saw so deeply was a lack of familial involvement for her success and an indoctrination by the church and by patriarchy. Her main focus was maintaining this marriage, even the idea of him sliding the ring, slamming it down on the table and sliding the ring to her, and she still married him. It was more important for her to keep up that facade. And that's what my issue is. It's not that, oh, she was acting desperate. Da, da, da. My issue is that we live in a society that tells women that if you don't do these things, then you're not valuable. Because anybody who feels they're valuable wouldn't put up with the shit most women put up with men in order to maintain relationships and marriages with them. Most women wouldn't deal with it at all if they really truly love themselves. But most of us have been indoctrinated to tolerate whatever. Because, I mean, you know, if you don't have a man, you know, or if you do have kids out of wedlock, that's horrible, right? So I've made so many videos talking about this, and this is exactly why I'm doing this live, because listening to her, I was like, she sounds like a lot of women. Because I think sis is older than me. But I dated, and I sold my royal oats. So I got to see a lot of shit. Yeah, she was hiding some of the things that were going on for her family. The same family that implored the importance of getting married. She didn't want to tell them because she knew the shit was good. She knew it was some ghetto shit going on. So she didn't even tell them, but they were also not involved. Like, they were not, like, I would have been in my daughter's wedding. I don't care if she would have gotten married at a courthouse. And if she would have gotten married without me and her would have had to have a conversation. I would have been hurt and upset. I would have been upset by that. That's what I'm saying. They were not involved for real. Not for real. And that's crazy because, again, you know, that's all you care about is that your daughter get married, right? That's the big thing. That's the big kahuna. That's what you're going to brag about to your friends on your front porch while you're drinking your sweet tea. That's all of that. But you don't go to the wedding? That's crazy. And then I thought it was also weird that she had a miscarriage and her mother didn't come to her aid then. That's weird. I would stop what I'm doing and drive across the damn country if my daughter had a miscarriage. That's crazy. That's what I be seeing a lot with a lot of black women, is that we be getting hung out to dry. Nobody gives us any game. The game is get a man. Get a man. So then you're ashamed to be like, oh, this isn't working out, right? This is what be going on. These women be embarrassed. I've been there before. I ain't ashamed no more. But these women be embarrassed to be like, yeah, that didn't work out again. You know, because I had my standards and this wasn't matching up. Or yes, it's been 5 years since I've had a man. Yes. Like, when women be ashamed to do that. And that, again, this is part of the people who are making you pay X amount of dollars for these wife conferences and how to get out of, you know, how to find a man conference and Jesus is my husband conferences. They ain't gonna do nothing when a nigga Because honestly, I thought she was going to say that he was running up her credit card. I thought she was going to say he had put her in all this debt, he had committed all this fraud, and they hoisted him away to jail for fraud or some shit like that. The shit that she told me, the shit that she said, I was just like, oh, this is every day. This is par for the course. If you're dealing with niggas, this is regular shit. Exactly, but that's my problem. My problem is the embarrassment. Because what the fuck are you embarrassed for? This nigga's crazy. Why did you need permission from God? That's bullshit. Like, it's like, why did your mind have to go through that many layers before you be like, this is some bullshit? She had to convince herself it was okay because she was worried about what other people were going to say about her. She felt like this was her last chance. I already know. I'm telling you, I already know. I grew up in the church. I already know. And then they said he was a Gemini. I mean, I was like, God damn. How many signs did God give you, sis? Crazy. But you know, Christians, they don't follow their astrology, so. But right, baby, she could have called me in 2018 and I could have told her from then why. Because he had a job. He had a job. Yes, I agree. I'm talking about my shoes. I agree. That's how deep the trauma is dealing with black men on a regular basis. That's all. I'm the same way. I'm the same way, sis. Like she said, we've all been traumatized because we're like, all he did was lie. That's on, and I hate to say it, but that's true. Like, I'm like, that's it. He was just lying and showing you fake screenshots. Okay, well, I don't think you'd survive my 20s. I don't think you'd survive my 20s. If that's all. And y'all gotta stop calling this nigga a narcissist. He's not a narcissist. If he was a narcissist, he would have gotten to all of her family and made all of them believe that she was beating his ass. And then he would have moved her to like Iowa in the woods, okay, and taken her phone. He's not a narcissist. He's an asshole. He's a nigga. And that's the part that I don't understand. I'm like, this is regular black male behavior. And then that's the thing. Honestly, she's really lucky his family wasn't in on it because most narcissists and most pathological liars, when they're men, their families make excuses for them. Like, they take, especially when they're men, oh my God, their families take up for them and make excuses for them. That's just how he is. You know, he don't mean it. He love you. They do all types of bullshit. So she's really lucky that his family was even cool enough and willing to give her all that tea, because a lot of times their families be backing them up. Yep, and they make all of him, and that's part of the narcissistic triangulation process. They'll make your whole family hate you. He'll make his family hate you, and so everybody be saying that you crazy. And you're like, no, this all happened. But he got to everybody before you. Narcissists plan better than just regular pathological liars. Right, exactly. Yeah, he wouldn't have paid no bills either. He wouldn't have paid no bills. But that's, I'm gonna tell you, I'll say that's part one. That might be it. I feel like I'm done talking about her, but I just feel like, girl, that was all he did. Don't date in Atlanta no more then. Because it's not gonna get better. It's not gonna get better. All right. Okay.